What's up, guys? It's your bro, Rich here. Today in this video, I'm gonna be doing another tribute video for y'all. So today I'm doing another tribute video for y'all. Today in this video is gonna be the most special one of all time. This is for all you Formula One fans out there. So this is for all you F1 fans out there. If you've seen my last tribute video I recently did a tribute video for both Paul Walker and Ken Block. So my last one I did for Ken Block. This time, however, we're taking things to a new level of tribute, of like memory or memorial. I don't know how to really say it. Like I don't have the words to really say it. Today in this video, I'll be talking to you all about the passing of one of the greatest drivers ever. Now, there have been many drivers, like, for racing, and not just that, but also for like acting while just driving. We've lost over the years, like actors and like pro racing drivers. But this one is literally the most special one of all time. So for all of you who are emotional and you're starting to cry, get your tissues ready, because this is going to be about one of the most special Formula One drivers of all time. Brace yourselves for this. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking to you all about the passing of F1 driver Ayrton Senna. So, that's right, today I'm talking to you all about the passing of F1 driver or Formula One driver Ayrton Senna. And I recently saw on Top Gear recently, just today actually, this morning, or that I seen on one of the episodes of Ayrton Senna's passing. So I thought to myself, it would be like there would be some way that I would want to honor both him and his legacy for racing. So I thought to myself, I would talk about his his career for Formula One, his victories, in a way to both honor him and his legacy, and to be a way to remember the famous racing drivers even for Formula One. So I thought I would do something like this. So today I'm talking to you all about the passing of Ayrton Senna. So before I start, make sure you all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. So like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell and hit all so you're alerted when I make brand new uploads. Alright. So without any further ado, let's get started. So this is the passing of Ayrton Senna. So let's do this. So the way this works is just basically talking about who the drivers were and their driving career and all that kind of stuff, and up until their final moments of their life before they're gone up to heaven. It's my way of saying until they passed away. I don't really usually wouldn't really say it that much because I don't feel comfortable saying saying stuff like this, when they pass away and all that kind of stuff, because it just kind of feels a bit, well, how can I say this? Not really how can I say this? Not too much pressure to be put on, but as in in a small way, to not say too much of it, because it's just gonna cause more issues and all that kind of stuff, which I mean it does happen sometimes, people just don't want to say things about about like this kind of stuff if someone passes away, because it's not really like sometimes like necessary other times for people to like know, because it's for them to know for themselves like what happened and how it happened and all that kind of stuff. So other like it wouldn't be like that necessary to tell people like everybody about this, because it would like make them like uncomfortable, and like other people would really like just try to like find out about like what happened to them and all that kind of stuff. So like not it's not always like not always like necessary to like tell them like this kind of stuff all the time, because like sometimes they would just find out instantly. Like I mean it happens like occasionally, like at any time, at any moment, at any place, it would tend to happen. Not just for like racing drivers, but anybody around, to like anybody around the world. Like actors. Who else? Chefs probably. Who else? Basketball players, football players, hockey players, anything like around the world. It could be for anything: sports, racing, environmental, social, anything like that, really. Okay, so yeah, today I'm talking about the death of Ayrton Senna. So before I start, make sure you'll like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you're alerted when I make brand new uploads. Alright, so without any further ado, let's begin. So this is the passing, or the demise, I would say, of Ayrton Senna. Here we go. So Ayrton Senna da Silva, born March 21st. So March 21st, 1960. 1960. Um, the Ayrton Senna. So Ayrton Senna da Silva, born March 21st. So March 21st. March 21st, 1960. Is that 1960? In Sao Paulo, where is this? Sao Paulo, Portuguese for Saint Paul. So Saint Paul is the capital of the state of Sao Paulo, as well as the most populous city in Brazil. The Americas in both the western and southern hemisphere. So western and southern hemisphere. Listed by the GAWC, globalization, and G and WC, globalization and world cities research network, as an alpha global city. It exerts substantial international influence in commerce, finance, arts, and entertainment. It's the largest urban area by population outside Asia and the most populous Portuguese-speaking city in the world. The city's name honors Paul the Apostle, and people from the city are known as Paulistanos. The city's Latin motto is non tocor, which translates as "I am not led, I lead." So I am not led, I lead. Alright, so Ayrton Senna da Silva, born March 21st, 1960, in Sao Paulo, Brazil, passed away May 1st, 1994. So May 1st, 1994. So 1994. And where is it? So it was in Bologna, in Emilia Romagna, in Italy. Was a Brazilian racing driver who competed in F1 from 1984 to 1994. So for 10, so he competed Formula One for 10, Formula One for 10, Formula One for 10 years. So from 1984 to not 1984, sorry, hold on. It is 19. I can't even see from there. So 1984 to 1994. So he competed in F1 for 10 years. So for 10 years. So 10 years. So 10 years from 1984 to 1994. Senna won 3 F1 World, Formula One World Drivers Championship titles with McLaren, and at the time of his death, held the record for most pole positions, which were 65. Among others, he won 41 Grand Prix races across 11 seasons. So he won 41 Grand Prix races across 11 seasons. Both, born and raised in Sao Paulo. So, born and raised in Sao Paulo, Senna began competitive kart racing. So, competitive kart racing aged 13 years old. His first go-kart was built by his father using a lawnmower engine. After twice finishing runner-up at the KWC Karting World Championship. Senna progressed to Formula Ford, or FF, I would say. Not to be confused with FF for Ferrari. That's got nothing. That technically hasn't got nothing to do with it, but say Formula Ford. It's like saying Formula Drift, but it's for Formula Ford, which is an entry-level class of single-seater open wheel Formula racing. It's like Formula One, but for like open-wheeled Formula vehicles. Might talk about Formula Ford one day. I got no clue, but I'll find out what I can do. So after twice finishing runner up at the Karting World Championship, Senna progressed to Formula Ford in 1981. In 1981, dominating both the British and European, both the European and British. So the Europe first for respect. So dominating both the European and British championships. So both the European and British championships in his debut seasons. He then won the 1983 BFTC British Formula 3 or F3 championship amidst a close title battle with both British former racing driver and broadcaster who competed in F1 from 1984, so for 12 years, to 1996, Martin John Brundle, or Martin Brundle. And James May once mentioned that Martin said that the Mercedes 190 E 2.316 said they had one of the best chassis ever. to go into mass production or something. It was in that Top Gear episode. It was in that Top Gear episode with Hammond and Clarkson. James driving a Mercedes 190E 2.3 16 Evo, I think it was, which is a standard one. So May driving a Mercedes, Hammond driving an E36 M3 Series 2 BMW, and Clarkson driving a Ford Sierra Cosworth Sapphire Edition. Out of those three, I picked the BMW. Because it pretty much won most of the challenges. When it was the cheapest car, less than four grand. It was by 10 quid less, so it was 3,990. So 3,990 quid it was. I remember I've seen that episode yesterday. Pretty cool. And it was faster, and it was the fastest on the Autobahn with 152 miles an hour. It was close to its top speed, limited to 155 miles an hour. It was 4 miles an hour faster than a Ford, and a whopping 12 miles an hour faster than the Mercedes. So when the high-speed test, it was spacious in the Oompa test. They were carrying the German Oompa band, which they had like the instruments like trumpets and keyboards and all that kind of stuff. What was it? I forgot what that instrument was called. Where you push, like you just tap on the keys, and it goes like this. I can't remember. It was. It's not a xylophone. It's not a saxophone as well. What was it? Ukulele? I got no clue what it was. But it was like those kind of instruments. I don't know what it's called, but it was one of those where it's like the Russians would have in like early times, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Like I can't remember. But it was like something like that. I can't remember what it was, but it was like the kind of instrument which I don't know. I forgot the name of it. I recognize those instruments. God, I don't know. Like I don't know like what the instrument was called, but it was. But if you'd seen like the episode of Top Gear when they were like with those when they're in Germany, doing the test with the BMW, Mercedes, and Ford, you probably know what I'm talking about. Where like one of them was like this. I forgot what the instrument was called, but it was in the passenger seat. Which essentially, I think it was the driver's seat almost. But anyways, when James was actually carrying the driver next to him in the passenger side, he was holding that instrument. That's the one I'm talking about. I don't know what it's called, but it's that kind of instrument. Like literally. That BMW was the best at that one, and it had the fastest lap time. Anyways, back to Ayrton Senna. So he was a Brazilian racing driver who competed in F1 from 84 to 94. He won 3 F1 World Drivers Championship titles with McLaren, and at the time of his passing, held the record for the most pole positions at 65. Amongst others, he won 41 Grand Prix races across 11 seasons. Born and raised in Sao Paulo, he began competitive kart racing at 13 years old. So at 13, say 13. I used to do go-kart races when I was 15. I think. Hold on. Wait. No, 14, 14. There we go. It was 14 years old. Well, 14, 15, somewhere around there. So, born and raised in Sao Paulo, or 13. I can't remember what it was. So I think it was 13. I don't know. Anyways, so born and raised in Sao Paulo. It was during my early teenage years. Born and raised in Sao Paulo, Senna began competitive kart racing. So Senna began competitive kart racing aged 13. His first go-kart was built by his father using a lawnmower engine. Now, I'm kind of confused. Like, why would you start off with an engine like that from a lawnmower to build a go-kart? Like to build a go-kart. I mean, like less than a 1 liter engine. Yeah, but lawnmower engine. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't really start off with an engine like that for go-karts because you never see any go-karts with a lawnmower engine. Like, nobody has, not even me. Like, I, I don't know, like, I mean, it's kind of odd, like a go-kart with a lawnmower engine. Now, it's a bit of a weird recipe for this. Genuinely weird. Anyways, so, born and raised in Sao Paulo, Senna began competitive kart racing age 13. His first go-kart was built by his father using a lawnmower engine. After twice finishing runner-up at the KWC, which is Karting World Championship, or KW Championship, whichever one, or KW Championship, so Karting World Championship, whichever way you want to call it. He progressed to Formula Ford. It's like almost Formula One, but with Fords. So Senna progressed to Formula Ford in 1981, dominating both the British and European, championships. So, yeah, both the European and British championships. In his debut seasons, he then won the 1983 British F3, so Formula 3 championship amidst a close title battle with Martin Brundle, further winning the Macau Grand Prix that year. Senna signed for Toleman in 1984, making his F1 debut. So F1 debut at the BGP, so Brazilian Grand Prix. Um, after scoring several podium finishes, so after scoring several podium finishes, so several podium finishes, finishes in his rookie season. Senna moved to Lotus, Lotus in 1985. Um, to replace who's a replacement? To replace British former racing driver Nigel Ernest James Mansell, A.K.A. Nigel Mansell himself. Born August 8th, 1953. So born August 8th, 1953. Age 71, at Uptown upon Severn in the UK. Who was a British former racing driver who competed in F1. So born in Uptown upon Severn in Worcestershire. God, sound like a God. What is Worcestershire sounds like almost. That's just gonna be that's gonna get me confused right now. I don't even know what I'm saying. Anyways, so he was a British former racing driver who competed in F1 from 1980 to 1995. So for 15 years, he participated in this. He won the F1 World Drivers' Championship in 1992 with the Williams Racing Team and won 31 Grand Prix races across 15 seasons. In American open wheel racing, he won the World Series in 1993 with Newman slash Haas HAAS Racing, and remains the only driver to have simultaneously held both the WDC World Drivers Championship and the American uh, Open Wheel National National Championship. National Championship. And Nigel Mansell was also in one of the Top Gear episodes. I remember because I've seen it. Say, after scoring several podium finishes in his rookie season, Senna moved to Lotus in 1980 in 1985 to replace Nigel Mansell, taking his maiden pole position and taking both his maiden pole position and victory at the rain-affected PGP, at the rain-affected Portuguese Grand Prix race, a feat he repeated in Belgium, which is a country that both the UK and Germany would go there to sort their differences out. I remember that as well because I've seen Top Gear as well. So a feat he repeated in Belgium. He remained at Lotus for his 1-year campaigns. So for both his 1986 and 1987, say 1986 and 1987 campaigns, scoring multiple wins in each and finishing third in the latter WDC, so World Drivers Championship. Quite a lot for this, and as always, we're moving on to what happens now. So he signed for McLaren in 1988 to partner Alan Prost. Together, they won 15 of the 16 Grand Prix events held that season, driving the Honda-powered McLaren MP4/4, with Senna taking his maiden championship by 3 points after winning a then record 8 Grand Prix races. Their fierce rivalry culminated in title-deciding collisions at Suzuka in Japan in 1989 and 1990. Despite Allen's move to Ferrari in the latter, despite Alan Prost's move to Ferrari in the latter, with Allen winning the former title and Senna taking the following, Senna took 7 victories, including his home Grand Prix, Grand Prix in Brazil. Grand Prix in Brazil. As he secured his third title in 1991. The dominant Williams Renault combination uh, prevailed throughout his remaining 2 seasons at McLaren. With Senna achieving several race wins in each, including his record-breaking sixth Monaco Grand Prix victory in 1993. On his way to again finishing runner-up to Prost in the championship. Senna negotiated a move to Williams for his 1994 campaign, replacing the retired Prost to partner Damon Hill. So for those who don't know who Alain Prost is, he's a French former racing driver and motorsport executive who competed in F1 from 1980 to 1993. So for 13 years. Nicknamed the Professor, he won 4 F1 World Drivers' Championship titles and, at the time of his retirement, held the records for most wins 51, fastest laps 41, and podium finishes 106. So set aside from McLaren in 1988 to partner Alain Prost. Together they won 15 of 16 Grand Prix seasons held that season, driving the Honda-powered MP4/4. Instead of taking the championship of the points of the winning for the greatest 8 Grand Prix. The fierce rivalry culminated in title-deciding collisions of Suzuka in 1989 and 1990, despite Prost's moves to Ferrari in the latter, with Prost winning the former title and Senna taking the following. Senna's like 7 victories, including his home Grand Prix in Brazil as he secured his third title in 1981. The dominant Williams-Renault combination prevailed throughout the remaining 2 seasons in McLaren, with Senna achieving several race wins in each, including his record-breaking 6th Monaco Grand Prix victory in 1983. So 1983 on his way to again finishing runner-up to Prost in the championship. So Senna negotiated the move to Williams for his 1984 campaign, replacing the retired Prost to partner Damon Hill. I was just checking where I'm at. And for those who don't know who Damon Hill is, I've heard of him, but I never know who he is. He was born September 17th, 1960, at age 64, in Hampstead, in London. He was his full name is Damon Graham Devereux Hill, who was a British former racing driver and broadcaster who competed in F1 from 1992 to 1999. So that was for, do the math on this, 7 years. Not bad. Not that bad. From the early to late 90s it was. Well, from the early to the end of the very late 90s. Like the end of the 90s, technically. He won the F1 World Drivers' Championship in 1996 with Williams and won 22 Grand Prix races across 8 seasons. So Senna negotiated a move to Williams for his 1994 campaign, replacing the retired Prost to partner Damon Hill. Alright, next one. During the 1994 San Marino, San Marino Grand Prix at Imola in Italy, the most dangerous racetrack in the whole world, claiming a bunch of lives and even injuring uh, many F1 drivers, as I remember, like Jim Villeneuve, Riccardo Patrese, Rubens Barrichello. It literally injured many Formula One drivers, even claiming the lives of Formula One drivers, even Ayrton Senna. So during the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix at Imola, Senna died, so he passed away as a result of an accident whilst leading the race, driving the Williams FW16 F1 car designed by Adrian Newey for the British Williams team, which literally competed in the 1994 F1 season with Williams. So competed in the 1994 F1 season, with Williams winning the constructors championship, and British driver Damon Hill finishing runner-up in the drivers' championship. It's notable as the last car to be driven by three-time world championship world was almost a championship world champion Ayrton Senna before his fatal accident during the San Marino Grand Prix. The car was designed around the major regulation changes that the FIA had introduced in the off-season, banning the various electronic devices that had been used by the front-running cars during the preceding two seasons. So during the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix, so during the 1994 Grand Prix, so 1994 San Marino Grand Prix, at Imola, Senna died as a result of an accident, whilst leading the race, driving the Williams F driving the Williams FW16 F1 car. His state funeral was attended by an estimated 3 million people. Following subsequent safety forms, he was the last fatality in the F1 World Championship until Jules Bianchi in 2015. I don't know who that is. Who was that? So he was a French racing driver who competed in F1 from 2013 to 2014. So born August 3rd, 1989, passed away at age 25. What? At July 17th, 2015. He was born and he passed away at the same exact place, actually. It was in Nice, in France. So in France, which is a city in and a prefecture, which is both a city in and a prefecture of the Alpes Maritimes department in France. It was located on the French Riviera, actually. This looked real similar. Real similar to the one that was seen in Forza Horizon 2, 2014. Which I could recognize a little bit by one place. The Promenade des Anglais. in Nice. I can't pronounce it, but it's technically the exact place that was used um, in Forza Horizon 2 in 2014, which that was located quite close actually to the Horizon Festival in Nice. Wow. Like exactly the one in Forza Horizon 2. But it's probably changed right now in this time of at this point in time. God, I wonder what it's like after ten years from Forza Horizon 2. God, I bet the whole thing has changed already, like since what it looked like in Horizon 2 2014. Whoa. It is just nuts. Genuinely crazy. Oh man. I never knew that. Anyways, back to Ayrton Senna. So got a bit carried away, sorry. So during the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix at Imola, Senna died as a result of an accident whilst leading the race, driving the Williams FW16 F1 car. His state funeral so state funeral his state funeral was attended by an estimated 3 million people. Following subsequent safety forms, um, he was he was the last fatality in the F1 World Championship until Jules Jules Bianchi Jules Bianchi in 2015, which was like almost less than 20 years later at that point in time. So Jules Bianchi in 2015. Senna achieved Senna achieved 40 41 wins. So 41 wins. So 41 wins, 65 pole positions, 19 fastest laps, and 80 podiums in F1. Which, for achievement terms, it brings a total of. Do the math on this. So 99. 205 like achievement goals he had. More than 200. It's not bad really. 205 is a pretty good amount actually. It's succeeding really well in Formula One. Pretty good. So Senna achieved 41 wins, 65 pole positions, 19 fastest laps, and so 19 fastest laps, and 80 podiums, 80 podiums in the F1. He remained a legendary figure, still is to today. So at today's terms, he's still one of the greatest. He remains a legendary, um, a legendary figure within motorsport. So motorsport for both his raw speed and aggressive driving style, and is frequently cited as a national hero. So hero of Brazil. So hero of Brazil. Um, he was also widely acclaimed for his wet weather performance. So wet weather performances. It's like how he did like in the rain. For his rainy weather performances, such as at the 1984 Monaco, 1984 Monaco, 1984 Monaco, 1985 Portuguese, and 1985 Portuguese. Say 1984 Monaco, 1985 Portuguese, and 1983 European. 1983 European uh, Grand or Grand Prix races. Last part, I'll do the next part. Senna was inducted. Senna was inducted. Inducted into the international motorsports Hall of Fame in 2000. So 6 years after he passed away. Now we're moving on to the next part, which just makes me sad just doing this. Which is death, state funeral, and reaction. This is like how it happened and where his funeral was held and like what the other people felt about this situation. Ow. Here we go. I can barely see a little bit. I can't from the glasses anyways. Alright, next up is death, state funeral, and reaction. Big cold. God, Lord. Sorry I'm taking so long. So much to get through this. And I'm tired. Oh my God, Lord. But I'm a tough man. I can do this. I never failed for YouTube at all. I'm not gonna back down from this. I am gonna succeed if it kills me. It's just an expression. Just a saying, technically. Alright, so next part. Date, death. So, date. I can't even talk. So, death, state, funeral, and reaction. So, the 1994 or the 94 San Marino Grand Prix was held on the Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari, which was known as the Imola circuit, which in English was Enzo and Dino Ferrari International Circuit, which is a 4.9 kilometer, a 3-mile motor racing circuit located in the town of Imola in the Emilia-Romagna region of Italy, 25 miles east of Bologna in Italy. So, the 94 San Marino Grand Prix was held on the Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari. So Dino Ferrari, circuit located in Imola, in Italy, between April 28th and May 1st, 1994. So I believe that was around 2, 3, or 4 days. I can't remember. So between April 28th and May 1st, 1990. So between 28th of April and 1st of May, 1994. Senna, who didn't finish the two opening races of the season, declared that this was where his season would start, with 14 races as opposed to 16, in which to win the title Williams brought modified um, FW16s to Imola in an attempt to improve the car's handling. During the afternoon qualifying season, both Senna's compatriot and prodigy Rubens Barrichello so Rubens Barrichello Rubens Barrichello, born May 23rd, 1972, who is a Brazilian racing driver and broadcaster who competes in the Stock Car Pro Series for full-time sports. So, born May 23rd, 1972, age 52, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So where was I? So Williams brought modified FW16s to Imola in an attempt to improve the car's handling. During the afternoon qualifying season, Senna's both compatriot and prodigy Rubens Barrichello was involved in a serious accident. When his car became airborne, just airborne. Airborne at the Variante Bassa chicane. I don't know how this happened. He was going so fast, going around the chicane, and he flew a little bit. So at the Variante Bassa chicane, and poof, just hit both the tire wall and fence. I've seen that actually happen. There was a clip on Top Gear in the Imola race. Not race, but at the Imola track. It was season 17, 18, I can't remember what it was. Where Hammond, May, and Clarkson were driving those three supercars. The Noble M600, Lamborghini Aventador, and McLaren 12C. May was in a McLaren, Clarkson, Lamborghini, Hammond, Noble. Which he changed because the clutch had problems. The clutch plate was just just broke off, chewed, part of it was chewed away. So during the afternoon qualifying season, both Senna's compatriot and prodigy Rubens Barrichello was involved in a serious accident. So serious accident when his car became airborne at the Variante Bassa chicane, and just hit both the tire wall and fence. Tumbled at that impact. Barrichello suffered both a broken nose and broken arm. That just hurts. I wonder what out of those two is the most painful, literally the most painfulest. How can I say this? It's the most seriously painful part. No, is it nose or the arm? Let me know in the comments what you think is the most painful. Nose, broken nose, or a broken arm. Because I feel both, I think, are the worst. But I'm not sure if only one can be the most painful at least. Or it can be any. I don't know. Because I feel the most painful one is definitely I would say probably a broken arm. I think. I don't know, but or maybe both. I'm not too sure. So anyways, Barrichello suffered both a broken arm and both a broken nose and broken arm. So broken nose and broken arm, and withdrew from the event. From the event, Barrichello reported that Senna was the first person he saw upon regaining consciousness. During Saturday, during Saturday, during Saturday qualifying, um, Austrian rookie Roland Ratzen, Roland Ratzenberger, born, when was he born? Start born July 4th, 1960, in Salzburg, in Austria. In Salzburg, which is the fourth largest city in Austria. 4 years ago, nearly five actually, in 2020, it had a population of 156,600, not 600, 156,850, so 156,852 people. I mean, less than 160,000, but not bad. Not that bad, really. I'm pretty sure Germany, I think, would have a bit more, a bit less. I'm not too sure from that year, 2020, which was a struggle for all of us at that year. 2020 was a real struggle, a real pain to get through, but at least we all managed to get through that. Even though, like, people, like, we lost people back at that time. I did lost my grandfather back in November 2020. Don't know how it happened, but may rest in peace. Okay, but it's been 4 years since he was gone. But like, we'll remember the ones we lost along the way. I lost people back in my time growing up. I lost a friend of mine months back, literally months back. Around, when was it? Like around March, April, somewhere around that. I think it was April. Yeah, I believe it was April. I'm not too sure. Where I lost a friend from college. I think I explained this to you guys. I can't remember. I swear I did. I'm not too sure, but God, it was like months ago. It was like during early 2024, somewhere in there, like 2-3 months. I can't remember when it was, but it was months ago during 2024. It was like early mid 2024. I can't remember, but I'm not too sure at all. So where the heck was I? So during Saturday qualifying, Austrian rookie um, Roland Roland Ratzenberger was killed after the front wing of his Simtek Ford broke, entering the 190 the, entering the 190 miles an hour. It's like the 190 miles an hour, or 310 kilometer an hour, Villeneuve, named after Jacques Villeneuve. It was a Canadian driver. I'm not too sure. There have been like French Canadians in Canada pretty much, which is kind of odd, but oh wow, I mean, I don't know, like, which was in Imola. So, um, so during Saturday qualifying, Austrian rookie, um, Roland Ratzenberger was killed after the front wing of his Simtek Ford broke, entering the 190 mile an hour Villeneuve corner, sending the car into the concrete retaining wall at high speed. I feel like it's the most painful death, like hitting a concrete wall high speed. I feel like it's the worst. There's many like ways like of how awful like death can be whilst in a car. That's like the worst. I would think of it. there's many worse deaths. There's many like horrible, severe deaths around the world, but I think the worst one by a mile, like by far for me, like I think the worst is definitely in a car. Because most people these days, like few that I know have passed away in car accidents, like Paul Walker, Roger Rodas, Triple X Temptation, or I forgot. Like he was like one of those rappers. I forgot like how to say the name, but I think it was shot whilst in the car. I forgot. Like I can't really remember barely from the top of my head of how it like happened, but there's many people around the world who passed away in car accidents, and even on bikes as well, and other like machinery as well, like snowmobiles. Even like Ken Block passed away from a snowmobile accident after a snowmobile landed on top of him, and so many drivers we've lost along the way. But we'll always remember those drivers from the bottom of our hearts until we're gone as well. We'll always remember the drivers in our hearts from those past memories and even some earlier times as well. So during Saturday qualifying, Austrian rookie Roland Ratzenberger. So Roland Ratzenberger was killed after the front wing of his Simtek Ford broke entering the 190 mile an hour Villeneuve corner, sending the car into the concrete retaining wall. So retaining wall at high speed. Senna immediately visited both the accident scene and medical center. There he was met by FIA medical chief professor. So FIA medical chief professor Sid Watkins. Sid Watkins. Who suggested to a tearful Senna that he should. Who was Sid Watkins? I first heard of this. His full name was Eric Sidney Watkins, from Liverpool in the UK. Born September 6th, 1928. Passed away September 12th, 2012. So he passed away on Paul Walker's 39th birthday, actually. I didn't know that happened. Like, I didn't know at all about this. He was commonly known as Professor Sid, or simply Prof, like short for professor, who was an English, British neurosurgeon from 1978 to 2004. So it was a year before I was even born. Before many of us were even born back in 2005. So that was the calculation of this. That was. I'm going to calculate when that was from that time period from 1978 to 2004. That was 20, around 26 years ago. Let me just double check real quick. 26 years ago. Yeah, for 26 years he served as both safety and medical delegate in F1. So in Formula One. So he was born December 6th, 1928 in Liverpool in the UK, and he passed away September 12th, 6 days after his 84th birthday. So September 12th, 2012, on Paul Walker's 39th birthday. So he passed away age 84 in London in the UK. Cause of death, not too sure what happened, but I'm gonna take a double look, see what happened. Say what happened? So he passed away on that time at the King Edward Seventh. So King Edward the Seventh Hospital in London. When was this? Let me just double check real quick. There's gotta be an answer somewhere. And this was followed by a memorial service that was held at St. Marylebone Parish Church, so Marylebone Parish Church in London on January 18th, 2013. Let's see, where was that? Does it say how he died? I can't remember. Yeah, there's gotta be an answer somewhere. Huh. Apparently there's no answer to like how he died. So many people might have known, but most of us to this day now might not know how he died. Like I don't even know how, because it doesn't really say. Like I don't know what it was, like what happened at that moment. Like it was, I don't know, it might have been, I don't know, cancer or stroke or like or disease. I don't know what it was technically, from what like the cause of it was, but I mean obviously there will be an answer somewhere if there was a cause for how he died at that moment. Because right now there's no answer to that. I'm looking at like the death and legacy part, and there's nothing that says of how he died. Like nothing. I checked literally from the whole thing, from one paragraph by one. I checked each part. It doesn't say anything on there. Like not even one part. Like I swear to God, I checked all of it. Every single sentence, every single paragraph. Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing at all. Just nothing. Okay, where the heck was I? So there he was met by FIA. So back to Ayrton Senna. So there he was met by FIA medical chief professor Sid Watkins, who suggested to a tearful Senna that he should retire from racing and take up fishing, a hobby that they've both shared. To which Senna replied, like, now I'm just sad, like when he said that he should retire from this. To which Senna, to which Senna replied that he could not stop racing. Senna was later called in front of the stewards for commandeer in front of the stewards for comment in front of the stewards for commandeering an official car and climbing to medical center and climbing the medical center fence, medical center fence, and the row uh, ensued. Although Senna was not, although Senna wasn't even punished, not even one bit from that. He's so For Ayrton Senna, he spent his final morning on Sunday talking to teammate, former teammate and rival, um, Alan Prost. So Alan Prost to discuss the establishment of the Grand Prix Drivers Association, a drivers union, with the aim of improving safety in F1. Alan had retired. So Alan Prost had retired from the sport at the end of the 1993 season and was now a media presenter. As the most senior driver in competition, Senna offered to take the role of leader. So the role of leader, starting from the next race in Monaco. During the drivers debriefing, um, the drivers debriefing. So debriefing, not debriefing. Sorry. During the drivers briefing, there we go. Sorry. Concerns have been raised. Concerns have been raised about the mainly promotional use of a Porsche 911 lead car. So lead car for the warm-up lap. So warm-up lap. It's not safety car or the lead car was for the warm-up lap. With organizers agreeing to abandon the practice. At the start of the Grand Prix, Senna retained the lead for his chief um, rival Michael Schumacher, who he suffered from like an accident while he was in a coma until 2013, 2014, something like that. I can't remember. Or I think it was before. I can't remember. But Michael recovered from his accident back at that time. Well, he recovered from the coma. So at the start of the Grand Prix, Senna retained the lead from his chief rival Michael Schumacher, but proceedings were soon interrupted by a start line accident. J.J. Lechton's L-E-H-T-O's Benetton Ford both stalled and was hit by the Lotus Mugen Honda. Um, Lotus Mugen Honda of Pedro Lamy. Both the wheel and debris landed in the main grandstand, injuring both 8 fans and a cop. Literally 8 fans and a police officer. The safety car was deployed for several laps. Its lack of speed proved detrimental to the racers, as the slower pace allowed the tires of the F1 cars to cool, thus decreasing their tire pressure. Senna pulled alongside the car and gestured to driver Max Angeletti to increase his speed. On lap 6, both the race resumed, and Senna immediately set a quick pace, completing the third fastest lap of the race, followed by Schumacher. As Senna rounded the high speed Tamborello corner on lap 7, his car left the racing line at around 191 miles an hour. So 191 miles an hour. Ran in a straight line off the track, and hit the concrete retaining wall at around 145 miles an hour. After what telemetry showed to be an application of the brakes for around around a couple seconds, around 2 seconds it was. The red flag was shown as a consequence. So after what telemetry showed to be an application of the brakes for around 2 seconds, the red flag was shown as a consequence of the accident. Within 2 minutes of crashing, Senna was extracted from his race car by both Watkins and his medical team, including intensive care, and Elitist. I can't pronounce that word. I'll just spell it. It's a much easier than wasting time spelling words I don't understand. By ANAEST, um, HETI, so ANAEST, HETIST, Giovanni Gordini. So Giovanni Gordini. So Giovanni or Giovanni Gordini. So Giovanni Gordini. The initial treatment took place by the side. The initial treatment took place by the side of the car, with Senna having both a weak heartbeat and significant blood loss. Significant blood loss from his temporal artery being ruptured. At this point, Senna had already lost around, Jesus Christ, 4.5 liters of blood. This gets worse, constituting 90% of his blood volume. Because of Senna's grave neurologic because of Senna's grave neurological condition, Watkins performed an on-site tracheotomy and requested the immediate airlifting of Senna to Bologna's Maggiore Hospital. So Maggiore Hospital, under the supervision of Gordini. Watkins later said that as soon as he saw Senna's fully dilated pupils, he knew that his brainstorm was both inactive and that he would not survive. At around 6:40 p.m. CEST time standard, which was 4:40 GMT time standard, the head of the hospital's emergency department, Maria Teresa Fiandri made the announcement that Senna has died, so that Senna has passed away, but said the official time of death under Italian law was 2:17 p.m. So CEST, 12:17 GMT, which is when he impacted. So when he both impacted the wall and his brain stopped functioning. The right front wheel, so both the right front wheel and suspension, are believed to have been sent back into the interior, striking Senna, striking Senna on the right side of his helmet. So striking Senna on the right side of his helmet, forcing his head back against the headrest. A piece of upright attached to the steering wheel. Had partially penetrated his helmet and made a large indentation in his forehead. In addition, it appeared that a jagged piece of the upright assembly. So upright assembly. So upright assembly. So upright assembly had penetrated the helmet visor, just above his right eye. So for those of you who don't know what the upright assembly is, it's basically an automotive. It's basically known as a steering knuckle, which is an automotive suspension. A steering knuckle or upright is that part which contains both the wheel, either the wheel hub or spindle, and attaches to both the suspension and the steering components. Both the terms spindle and hub are sometimes used interchangeably with steering knuckle, but refer to different parts. Both the wheel and tire assembly attach to either the hub or spindle of the knuckle, where the tire/wheel rotates while being held in a stable plane of motion by the knuckle/suspension assembly. In the attached photograph of a double wishbone suspension, the knuckle is shown attached to the upper control arm. So upper control arm at the top, and the lower control arm. So I'll show you. So the attached photograph of a double wishbone suspension. This one right here. An attached photograph of an attached photograph, which is here, of a double wishbone suspension. The knuckle is shown attached to the upper control arm right here, at the top, and the lower control arm at the bottom right here. The wheel assembly is shown attached to the knuckle at its center point. And get this, note the arm of the knuckle like that sticks out. So note the arm of the knuckle that sticks out, to which the steering mechanism attaches to turn both the knuckle and wheel assembly. So that's what that thing is. I don't know much about this, but yeah, I don't know much about this whole steering knuckle situation and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. So the right front wheel and both the right front wheel and suspension are believed to have been sent back into the interior, striking Senna on the right side of his helmet, forcing his head back against the headrest. A piece of upright attached to the wheel had partially penetrated his helmet and made a large indentation in his forehead. In addition, it appeared that a jagged piece of the upright assembly had penetrated the helmet visor just above his right eye, somewhere around here, I think. I'm not too sure. Just above his right eye, at least. So just somewhere just above his right eye. Senna sustained these severe, and what I think of it as shocking injuries. Seriously, I'll just tell you now. He sustained a fatal skull fractures, brain injuries. So skull fractures, brain injuries is the worst. So brain injuries, and a ruptured temporal artery, and major blood vessel supplying. So a major blood vessel supplying both the face and the scalp. So both the face and the scalp. According to Fiandri, any one of these three injuries would likely have killed him. It's either skull fractures, brain injuries, and ruptured temporal artery. So, out of those three, I think the worst one would probably be. I think probably would be the brain injuries. I think, or the skull fractures. Not sure about the ruptured temporal artery, but I don't know which either one of the three is the worst. Either skull fractures, brain injuries, or ruptured temporal artery, a major blood vessel supplying both the face and the scalp. According to Fiandri, any one of these, any one of these three injuries would likely would likely would likely have killed him. It was later revealed that when the medical staff examined Senna's car, this next one is kind of like is quite shocking. A furled Austrian flag was discovered. He had intended to raise it in honor of Ratzenberger after the race. Photographs of Senna being treated on the track by emergency medical personnel were taken by both Senna's friend and Autosprint's picture editor Anglio Orsi. So his first name is spelled A-N-G or Angelo Orsi. So A-N-G-E-L-O first name, last name O-R-S-I. Out of respect, those photographs have never been made officially public. Next on the list is God, I can't get this feeling off. This next one just breaks our hearts. The state funeral. Oh boy. And this is the last part I'm doing. And hold on, let's do that thing. I'll pull it up. Actually, I'll do like not. I'll do this one and then I'll do one more because this is gonna take a while. Next up is state funeral. Senna's death was considered by many of his Brazilian fans to be a national tragedy, and the government of Brazil declared 3 days, so 72 hours of national mourning, like mourning like the loss of someone. Senna's body returned to Brazil on May 4th, 1990. So May 4th, 1994. The Italian Air Force, or the IAF, it's like saying RAF, but taking out the R and putting the I into it, you get IAF. So the Italian Air Force is also like saying USAF, but taking out US and putting an I into it. So the Italian Air Force. So the Italian Air Force. Stay right here, because it's cold. Not cold, but it's boiling in here. So the Italian Air Force offered to fly the coffin back to Brazil, but the Senna family, so the family of Ayrton Senna, wished that it returned home in a Brazilian plane. Contrary to contrary to airline policy, and out of contrary to airline policy and out of respect, Senna's. Alright, back. Senna's. So, contrary to airline policy and out of respect, Senna's coffin was allowed to be flown back to his home country in the passenger cabin of a McDonnell Douglas MD-11 airliner operated by National Airline Varig, spelled Varig, accompanied by his distraught younger brother Leonardo, who was Leonardo Senna, and close friends. The plane was escorted by fighter jet. The plane was escorted by fighter jet. So the plane was escorted by fighter jets into Sao Paulo, uh, Guarulhos. I can't pronounce it, but it's spelled G. So spelled G. So it's G. So spelled G-U-A-R-E. So Guarulhos. I can't pronounce this, but it's spelled G-U-A. So G-U-A-R-U. So G-U-A-R-U-L-H-O-S International Airport, where it was met by the Sao Paulo mayor, uh, Paulo Maluf. So Paulo Maluf, and the state's governor, Luis, without the S, it was with a Z or Z. So Antonio. Luis Antonio Fleury Filho. Can't pronounce those two names correctly, but Fleury or something like that. It spells F-L-E. So F-L-E U-R-Y. The second name was spelled F-I-L. So F-I-L-H-O. So F-I-L-H-O. So F-I-L-H-O. So F-I-L-H-O. So F-I-L-H-O. 8 cadets from the MPA, Military Police Academy, mounted guard as a fire engine carried the coffin on the 20-mile journey into the city, leading the motorcade with 17 police motorcycles and 2,500 policemen lined the route to keep the crowds at bay. Senna's body lay in state at the legislative assembly, building in Ibirapuera. So Ibirapuera. So Ibirapuera. So Ibirapuera. So Ibirapuera Park, and was visited. So Ibirapuera Park, and was visited by over 200,000 people, fifth of a million people. Say 1/5 is 20%. So it's out of a million at least, so like 200,000. So and was visited by over 200,000 people. So 200,000 people. Senna's funeral took place in Sao Paulo on May 5th. So Senna's funeral took place. So Senna's funeral took place in Sao Paulo on May 5th, 1994. So 1994, with over half a million, with over 500,000 visitors. It was the largest, and literally, I mean seriously, the largest funeral largest funeral procession. So the largest funeral procession in city history, following the lying in states, a 21 gun salute. Say a 21 gun salute. Say 21 gun salutes was fired. A 21 gun salute was fired by what was it? By the second artillery brigade. So by the second artillery brigade, um, seven Brazilian Air Force, so BAF, so seven Brazilian Air Force jets flew in a diamond, flew in a diamond formation as the funeral procession made its way to the Morumbi Cemetery. Morumbi Cemetery. Senna's grave bears the epitaph. I can't pronounce it well, but it's spelled EPITAPH. Nada, nada pode me separar do amor de Deus. Translated to nothing can separate me nothing can separate me from the love of God. Um many prominent motorsport so many prominent motor racing figures attended Senna's state funeral, which took place on May 5th, such as team managers Ken. Christ, there's so many. So Ken Tyrrell, Peter Collins, Ron Dennis, and Frank Williams, and driver manager Jackie Stewart. The pallbearers included drivers Gerhard Berger, Michelle Alboreto, Alan Prost, Thierry Boutsen, I can't pronounce it, Damon Hill, Rubens Barrichello, Roberto Moreno, Derek Warwick, Mauricio, I can't pronounce it, Gugelmin, spelled Gugelmin, Hans Joachim Stuck, Johnny Herbert, Pedro Lamy, Mauricio Sandro Sala, Raul Boesel, Emerson Fittipaldi, Wilson Fittipaldi, and Christian Fittipaldi. So neither both Sid Watkins nor Joe Ramirez. Joe Ramirez. This was Joe without the E. So Joe Ramirez, the McLaren team coordinator, could bear to attend because they were so grief-stricken. Not sure what that technically means, but I don't know. Senna's family did not allow F1 management president Bernie Ecclestone to attend a ceremony. They're offended. They're offended that the race had not been abandoned after the accident, and that Ecclestone had accidentally told Senna's brother Senna's brother Leonardo that Senna died. So Senna died on track. So, and he says that he did not die for several more hours. Ecclestone Ecclestone settled for watching the funeral cortege as an ordinary spectator. However, in more recent years, Ecclestone took some steps to repair his relationship with the Senna family, such as lending aid to the IAS, Instituto Ayrton Senna. So, Instituto Ayrton Senna. Ecclestone had occasionally stated that Senna was the best driver he ever saw. FISA president, FISA president Max Mosley attended. So FISA President Max Mosley attended the funeral of Ratzen. FISA President Max Mosley attended the funeral of Ratzenberger on May 7th in Salzburg. So on May 7th in Salzburg. In Salzburg, in Austria, or Austria as we would pronounce it. Austria. As he could attend only one, 50% of the two ceremonies. In a press conference 10 years later, so a decade later, Mosley said, "I went to his funeral because everyone went to Senna's. I thought it was important that somebody went to his." All right. Last part I'll do, we got immediate reactions. This is about. So there's not much on there, but we'll do as much as I can. Alright, so here we go. Let's finish this. Immediate reactions. For the next race at Monaco, the FIA decided to leave the first two grid positions empty and paint them with the colors of both the Brazilian and Austrian flags to honor both Senna and Ratzenberger. Throughout the rest of the 1994 season, Senna was commemorated in various ways. So in various ways, Damon Hill, along with Michael Schumacher, dedicated their individual success to Senna with Damon Hill's victory in the Spanish GP, so Spanish Grand Prix, and Schumacher's World Championship victory in the Australian Australian GP, so the Australian Grand Prix at Honda's Tokyo headquarters. So it's at Tokyo. So many floral tributes were received that they filled the large exhibition lobby. Even though Honda no longer So even though Honda no longer, so Honda no, even though Honda no longer participated in F1 anymore, Senna had a special Senna had a special relationship with company founder Soichiro Honda. So Soichiro Honda, and was beloved in Japan, where he where he achieved where he achieved a near mythic status. Um, in July 1994, so July 1994, um, so a few months after Senna passed away, I think, I believe it was in July 1994, so July 1994, um, the Brazil, uh, the Brazil national football team, or the Brazilian national football team, dedicated their World Cup victory to Senna, and collectively held a banner with their dedication on the field. So with their dedication on the field after defeating Italy in the final, which read Senna aceleramos Senna aceleramos juntos o tetra e no so, which in English it's pronounced as Senna Senna we speed together. So Senna we speed together. We speed together. We speed together. The fourth so we speed together. The fourth title is ours. Last part and on that there. Senna had met various members of the squad including Ronaldo. Sorry, including Ronaldo. Who was Ronaldo Luis Nazario Nazario de Lima. Born September 18th, 1976. He was a Brazilian former pro footballer who played as a striker. So he was from Itagual in Brazil, age 40. He was at 48, nearly in his 50s. Jeez. So in Itaguai or something, which is a municipality located in the Brazilian state of Rio de Janeiro and contains several important iron ore loading points of the world, including I can't pronounce it, but it's spelled I-I-H-A Guaiba, spelled G-U-A I-B, so G-U-A I-B-A, so G-U-A-I-B-A, so G-U-A-I-B-A. Where was I? Okay, so Senna had met various members of the squad, including Ronaldo. As well as Leonardo. Leonardo Araujo. I can't pronounce it well, but it's spelled A-R-A-U with a little dash on the top, J-O. So A-R-A-U with a dash, J-O. Born September 5th. So September 5th, 1969. Known as Leonardo Araujo, or simply Leonardo. So born September 5th. September 5th, 1969, age 55, in Niterói, can't pronounce it well, in Brazil. So Senna had met various members. So Senna had met various. So he met various members of the squad, including Ronaldo. So including Ronaldo, as well as Leonardo Araujo, 3 months earlier in Paris, or Paris, the capital of France, telling them, this is our year. So this is our year. Alright, so that took a lot longer than I expected. And with Chem Block, it was much, I think it was easier? I can't remember. Or it was a bit longer, not too sure. But with Ayrton Senna, it was a bit longer because there was so much about this. Alright, so that is it. So that's it. For my next video, don't know what I'm gonna do actually for this. But I'll think of something. Don't worry. But yeah, for now, I'll end it there. So if you guys like this video and you find it like how can I say this? If you guys like this video and you find it both informative and interesting, like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you're alerted when I make brand new uploads. And show respect, everybody, to the main man, Ayrton Senna, around the world, because that means so much to the legendary Brazilian racing driver. It really would mean the world to him and to everybody else as well. So if you guys like this video, like and subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you're alerted of when I make brand new uploads. Alright, so that'll be it. I'll see you guys soon in the next video, but until then, stay safe, have a great evening, and have a great day tomorrow morning. And I'll see you guys soon in the next video. So yeah, so take care, folks. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye, folks. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.